astronauts to the moon.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
What you're seeing here is a mirage.
What is going on, everyone? It's Jaron from Jeranism. We're back with another live video for you today. It is the 14th, I believe, of August. That's correct. It is noon Pacific. If you're watching at that time, it is live. If you are at another time, well, welcome anyway. But this would be a previous stream. But we've got my buddy Z here with me. Let me bring him on. I'll show you the thumbnail first, so you know what we're doing. It is just a Z joins me stream. How can a flat earther believe in a 24-hour circling Antarctic sun? And just to kind of lay out how this went down, I saw Z had a appearance on Nachiketa's show, whatever that was, last week or something. And I took a little bit of an exception just because I don't understand it at all, of one of the things he said. And so I did a show where I didn't necessarily do it on Z, I didn't think, but I could see how somebody might look at it and say, hey, that whole show was just about him. Or really, I was just kind of building off that idea and kind of trying to run with it. But he called me and basically said, hey, let me on your show rather than just talk about me when I'm not there. And I said, all right, I guess we'll do that. So we are here. Let me bring him on. Z, what's going on, my friend?
Howdy. How's my mic?
You sound great. Except for I'm just having a hard time finding the main screen. There it is. There's the interview screen. All right, I think we're good. There we go. All right, so the quote that I had, or well, first of all, how are you? What's new with you? I haven't seen you do your show lately.
I'm good, man. Thanks for asking.
Good.
So I don't know if I could see you on my side, but from what I could see from the live feed, it's still just our.
Well, I only have a Z
okay.
for you. I don't know if you're supposed to, if you want to.
There we go. There we go.
I don't know if you're coming on or not. There you go.
There I am.
He is there. All right. So, yeah. So tell everybody what happened to your show. Where's your show? Are you coming back? Or are you not? It's becoming kind of a staple for some people.
Yeah, man. Thanks for asking.
Myself.
I'll be back, everybody. Anybody who cares. So I've been on a bit of a hiatus, and I'll be back sometime soon.
Well, that's good to know. All right. Good. So the quote that you had said on Nachiketa, you guys were discussing the 24-hour, or you were discussing the final experiment, and you had said something to the effect of, I do believe we'll see a 24-hour sun down there, and that's not a problem for me. So is that accurate?
No. So what my quote was is, if I had to bet,
okay,
there will be a 24-hour sun, and that's not a problem for me.
Gotcha.
So there was no believe, really. It was, if I had to bet, I'd say there's a sun, because the statement I made was in regards to a previous appearance you had on Nachiketa's maybe 8 days ago.
Okay.
And I was attempting to refute a claim that you made regarding the 24-hour sun. So it seems as though the topic is going to be the 24-hour sun and our either beliefs or our opinions on that topic.
Yeah, and what it does or doesn't do to our other main belief, yes.
Correct.
Right.
So I think we have it framed pretty
good.
Pretty good, because the claim that I heard you say was that a 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica basically refutes the flat Earth. And if I can quote, the Earth cannot be flat if there's a 24-hour sun. Is that correct? Well,
I think we could, yeah, I mean, that is correct. But if we need to cover that, because I've noticed now being on with Bro Sanchez yesterday that people don't grasp it. In fact, Bro Sanchez didn't grasp it till the very end of the show. It took him 3 hours until he finally got what I was saying. And then he's like, oh, they say that's going down? And I said, yes. He's like, oh, no, that's not happening. So I want to take it a step by step if we can, just so people recognize why I would make that jump. It's not just a matter of, oh, we see this and therefore all flat maps are gone. Because it started out with first, does a 24-hour circling sun in the south debunk the AE map? What would you say about that? Does it debunk the circling sun azimuthal equidistant Gleason's map? In your mind.
So your question is, does the circling sun debunk the map?
Correct. Is it render it false?
Well, I guess my question would be, why the false binary to start off with?
Well, it's not necessarily a false binary. What I'm saying is, if we have a map and we say, okay, this map is the map that most people go by or whatever, and then we say there's an observation, and the observation we go and we make it, and the map itself doesn't allow for that observation, does that not debunk the map? Don't we go by?
Short answer.
Yeah.
Short answer is no.
Okay.
It does not debunk the map.
And why would you say no?
Well, I mean, we can get into it. I mean, we can go way into it.
Well,
I mean, the first question I would have is why would I have a need to ascribe my reality that I exist in? Why would I ascribe that to a map, which is basically a projection of that reality? So we can get into it. I mean,
sure. Could you?
What is a map other than a projection based on a gridded layout of longitude and latitude? So is a map reality?
Well,
maybe we can start there.
No, I don't think so. But again, if there's something on some port of, if the map's pretending to be reality, right? If the map is claiming to be the way the world's set up, it doesn't have to be that. It's just, I'm saying, if that's the claim, which sure we can say, oh, flat earthers don't make that claim. Then they're making no claim to how the world really works at a base level, which is where you would start with the place you live, with how's everything set up, how's the continent set up. I don't believe if you can't get past there, then I feel like the flat Earth would never go anywhere. If we basically just said the Earth's flat, and somebody said, "How does everything work?" and you said, "We don't have any idea how anything works. We just know it's flat," and that's it.
Jaron, is it okay not to know how things work?
Sure.
How about we go like this? What are we claiming? I'll give you my claim.
Okay.
The Earth is flat. It's the only claim I make today, and it's the only claim I ever make. The Earth is flat.
Okay.
You seem to make a different claim that goes beyond that. You seem to claim that
I think that flat
a
maps,
circling 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks or falsifies the flat Earth.
Correct. Because
that was your claim. So at least we have our claims down, and maybe we can go from there. Because
sure, let me start with the original claim.
I find no reason to ascribe to a map or a model, especially if it can't be evidenced empirically.
Okay, so let me go to the original claim. The original claim is, I do know that the sun circles the Earth in 24 hours. Would you agree with that statement? That the sun...
No, I would not.
You're not going to agree with the fact that the sun circles the Earth in 24 hours?
Correct.
Okay, why not? What is wrong with that statement?
Why would I agree to a model that
I didn't ask for a model. I said, can we agree that the sun does a circuit of the Earth in 24 hours? There's no model there. I'm just saying.
Right, so you're asking me to agree to a theoretical understanding.
It's not
or
theoretical.
A concept of what the sun does.
It's not theoretical. It's not a concept. We can go outside.
No, it is.
We can go outside.
You're making the positive statement that the sun circles the Earth.
Correct.
That's your statement.
Correct.
So why do I need to validate a statement that you're making?
You don't need to. If you want to just say that it doesn't happen, or that's fine. You don't agree with that.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But you asked me, does a circling sun? You asked me, do I know that the sun circles the Earth? And my answer is no. I don't know that.
Okay. Does the sun bring light and heat to the continents that need it every day in 24 hours? Meaning Africa.
It appears that it does. Yes.
Okay.
It appears that it does.
Right. And so where I'm making the claim that goes off of that is that if we know that the sun does a circle in 24 hours, again, you don't have to believe that. I do.
Yeah, because I don't know that, Jaron. I don't know that.
We could probably figure that out, though, right? Because if we called a bunch of people and everybody...
No, I don't think we can, really.
So what else could it be doing? What else
conjecture based off observation. But to say that I know that the sun circles the Earth, I would say is not true.
Okay.
So maybe we should go into that, and we can start there.
Well, I think you might be the only person that would say that. I don't know anybody else that would ever say that we don't know that the sun goes. Well, I see what you are.
That's not true. You know that's not true, right?
Well, are you getting into the point of whether it's us moving or whether it's the sun? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm addressing the claim you just made that I'm the only person who would say that I don't know if the sun circles the Earth.
Okay, does the sun take 24 hours to go from where it starts to where it's to start again? Does that take 24 hours?
I don't know that the sun starts anywhere and ends anywhere.
Okay, so let's say it's noon in California and the sun is to my south 24 hours later, do I not know that the sun will be right back there again?
Yes, you would know that.
Okay. So that means that it does do a circuit in 24 hours. It didn't go out
Really?
to space.
It does?
It didn't go out to space. It had to bring heat to each of the
Let me ask you
continents.
this, Jaron. How could we know something that we can't substantiate?
We can substantiate.
All right, let me ask you something. Is there a difference between the optical world and the physical world?
Yeah, everything that's physical we see, so it's all optical.
Right, but is everything optical physical?
Not that we know of. There's some things we wouldn't know if they're physical or not.
Okay, right. Now, can I substantiate, can I measure and test anything in the sky that is optical?
Can you what?
Can I measure
Mm-hmm.
and thus test and thus substantiate the things that are in the sky
No, not necessarily.
that I do via my optics?
No, not all of them.
Okay.
Barely any of
So
them.
if I can't measure it and I can't test it, it means there's no empirical evidence for it. So why should I subscribe to a theory or a concept that you're proposing?
Because it needs no measurement.
When I can't validate it.
You can validate, and there's no measurement needed. So
how can I do that? How can I validate something without measuring it?
Because we know wherever the sun is, there's somebody on Earth that it's above their head. We could track with everybody and say, sun above your head, sun above your head. And throughout the day, we would realize that it makes a path, a circle around the Earth, and everybody sees the sun.
Really? Over the pre-assumed, begging the question, AE map?
Not over the AE map. We don't even need that. We would know if I'm here in California and the sun at noon is to my south, and then we keep calling people along the way, we would find out that it ropes around the Earth. Now, what are the layouts of the continents? I don't know.
Really? I don't agree with that line of reasoning.
You don't agree with the line of reasoning that the sun circles in 24 hours. Like, what else could it do? I guess.
Correct.
So what else could it do?
They could do a lot of things, probably infinite amount of things.
Like, what do you mean?
But I tend not to conjecture things that I can't substantiate.
Right. So the only thing that you can substantiate is the.
When I make my claim that the Earth is flat, I could substantiate that.
How? No, we can't do that.
Through empirical evidence.
How? Which name one?
Name one.
Name
one
a way that we do it.
The Earth is flat.
Because if you're going to
physics,
if you're going to play this game where
applied physics, applied physics, and practical demonstration.
Which one? We can do the same.
When I make the positive claim that the Earth is flat, it's because I could substantiate it based off of applied physics, practical demonstration.
Okay, then I'll say the same thing about the sun going around 24 hours.
Things that I can measure and test.
Okay, I'll do the same thing. I said I'll do the same thing with the sun going around the Earth. Applied physics and observations. It's the same thing. I don't know
how are you going to test the optical sun that you can't measure? You can't know the distance and you can't know the size. So how would you test that?
You wouldn't need to know that. The sun is
what practical demonstration can you give me
to substantiate
your claim substantiate your claim that the sun circles the Earth in 24 hours?
You could get in a plane and follow it.
Can you give me?
Get in a plane and follow it?
Right. You can follow the optical sun.
Yes.
To substantiate and measure it.
No, we're not measuring anything. We don't need to measure it for the 10th time. We're just checking if it goes around the Earth in 24 hours. But I'm going to give you that we can't. I'm going to give you that, even though I'm not going to argue over stuff like that everybody knows. Why would we argue about that? The sun goes
everybody
around.
Doesn't know that. You claiming that does not make it true.
It does. The sun goes around 24 hours.
You want me to point out the litany of logical fallacies that you're?
You can if you'd like to. I mean, I don't have a. Do
I have to? Because you should know, really, or would just let the audience do that?
We could go out and verify that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, or at least that, or that the sun is above a new person at every 12 o'clock hour 24 times around the Earth. So it's going around.
Right, and those two things aren't the same.
Okay, but it's not going around in 36 hours. It's not going around in 48.
Your claim that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours cannot be proven.
Wow.
It just cannot be.
Okay. All right.
So this is where we're starting off, because you're starting off from a logically flawed premise.
It's not logically flawed. There's nobody who would agree.
Yes, because you're reifying a model.
I don't have anything to do with the model. Don't have anything to do with the model.
You're reifying a model. Yes, when you say the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, you're reifying a model that you ascribe to that I don't. So why would you shift the burden to me? Why do I have the burden to prove a model?
You don't have any burdens to prove anything. I asked you because I thought we could get to a logical start where I say, do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? And then we could go forward. I didn't say you have to ascribe to it. You could say you don't. That's fine.
So let's get to a logical start. So if we can get beyond your fallacious reasoning.
What fallacious reasoning by saying that the sun does what everybody sees it do?
Maybe you can concede that there's no way to know
No.
or prove or substantiate a sun circling the Earth in 24 hours. We can start there.
We know that's what it does. So, I mean, you can.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that.
We do.
Jaron.
We do.
I don't know that.
We do. Everybody in the world knows.
No, that's not correct. There's plenty of people who ascribe to a flat Earth understanding who do not ascribe to that. I'm not claiming one way or another. I'm pointing out the flaw in your logic.
There is no flaw in the logic if we just say
this is why when you asked me the question originally, come on, I said I disagree with your premise.
Correct. Okay.
You just don't see it.
Well, I don't see a reason for it. I don't see, there's nothing else that it could be doing. Nobody even claims that there's something else you can do. So to argue it is just to play dumb. That's all. You're just playing dumb because
so again, do you want me to point out the logical fallacies?
I don't even care what the logical fallacy is because
you don't care what the logical fallacies are. So you don't care about logic.
No, don't care about it. Not when you're talking about.
You don't care about logic.
The sun goes around in 24 hours, period. Nobody disagrees. So I don't understand why it would be illogical to say something. You can just keep
chanting that as a refrain over and over again.
So does the sun rise every day? Or we can't prove that? Can we prove that the sun rises every day? I'm asking.
Jaron, listen, we have celestial data from all over the world, okay? Where we can show, all right, do you want me to start talking about the ephemeris? Let's give at least each other a little bit of credit, all right?
So
but the reality is you are claiming a model that is unsubstantiated, plain and simple.
Okay, that's fine. So if you're saying that
when I say you're reifying the model, do you want me to explain what that means?
No, I understand what you're saying.
But what do I mean then if you don't want me to explain it? When I say you're reifying the model,
that it's already assumed. The premise is assumed in the statement. I've already assumed my outcome is what you're saying.
Kind of. That's begging the question. When I say you're reifying the model, you're applying concreteness to an abstract concept, like a model that can't be substantiated.
But I'm not thinking of a model in my head. I'm simply thinking about, and you're right, I guess I look at the layout of the continents, right, that generally make the most sense. I think that's what everybody agrees on. Now, if you're saying there's some other layout, no one's ever seen it. No one's ever put it forward as this is the actual model of the Earth. So to me, there is one model that has all the continents laid out. It is the AE map, and the sun goes around it in 24 hours. That's it. So if
because you choose to believe in things that have no evidence.
Okay. There's plenty of
evidence. If you choose to do that, I'm under no obligation to do it.
So you don't need to
I'm certainly under no obligation to prove something that you claim that I do not ascribe to.
Okay, so you don't have to ascribe that. We got it. So you don't know what the sun does at all. You wouldn't even make any claim to it at all. The sun just is there.
I can conjecture, but I'm not going to make claims.
Okay. Would you conjecture that it's moving around the Earth in 24 hours? Can we do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a possibility. How's that?
All right. This is going to be fun. So what do you want to do next then? If we can't prove that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, because it's just a reification of the model.
We can talk about your positive statement. The question here is who made the statement, okay?
I made the statement.
Once one makes a statement, is it then not their burden to prove that statement?
Clear.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you need me to prove the statement?
Your statement was the 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica refutes the flat Earth. And to be more specific, you said a flat Earth cannot exist with the 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Right.
Okay, so you agree to that. So why don't we start with your positive statement so I can refute that and you could defend it? That's probably a good place to start.
Yeah, except for the first step would be to say, does the sun do this? And if you don't agree, then we can't go pretty much beyond that. Because
no, I don't have to agree with something you ascribed to that can not be substantiated. We can talk about your claim.
Sure, but nobody else has any other claims that I've heard.
And I could rebut it.
Okay.
Say that again.
You're saying you can do that if we take the assumption that we can say that the sun goes around in 24 hours?
We don't have to assume anything. We can take your claim. You can defend it.
The claim is based off of a couple of known things. Number one, that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours. If we assume that, let's just assume. I'm not saying you ascribe to it. Number two, that the sun has to bring heat and light to all the continents in that 24 hours. And then number three, flat maps push the south or the north, doesn't matter which one, to the perimeter. Okay. So I have not seen a flat map that can do what I'm saying without doing that, right? So no flat map can exist that then doesn't push the north or the south to the outside. That would be kind of impossible, right? Something has to get pushed to the outside, whether it's the inside or the outside. right? You could take it and bend it out so that the South Pole's in the middle and push out the North, or you could put the North in the middle and push out the South. So once you know that, then that's where my statement becomes a point that if you have the sun circling somebody's head in Antarctica, then it can't be doing what we know it has to do, which is get light and heat to all those comments.
Right. So you just laid out how you got to your fallacious conclusion that a 24-hour circling sun refutes the flat Earth. You just don't see all the problems in your reasoning along the way. No. That's the issue, Jaron.
Sure. So you're just saying the issue is that we can't prove that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours. Right.
That's one of them.
Well, that's your answer. I don't know why you didn't just answer that. We didn't even have to do a show. You could have just answered that yesterday when I asked you, what is your reason? How does this work? You could have just said, well, I don't agree that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, and we'd be done. That's
no, I said I can't substantiate. I don't ascribe to theories and postulations that can't be evidenced.
You can absolutely. Just because you say something that can't be evidenced doesn't make it true. Just so you know. Just because you feel like standing on that soapbox.
A thing can't be true that's not evidenced. That's
I said,
different.
Just because you say something can't be evidenced doesn't mean it's not true. That's what I said. You could be wrong. The sun can't be evidenced.
You're making a claim that a 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks the flat Earth.
Correct.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know.
So let's talk about that.
Well, there's nothing to talk about because what's going to happen is if that's what goes down.
So what's going to happen? So you're looking for any way to exit this conversation.
No, I don't see a point.
What?
I don't see a point in the conversation. If we can't even agree that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, then I feel like it's a moot point. Because
really,
because you're basically saying we can't prove anything.
So the shape of the Earth is a moot point. That's what you're saying?
No, the shape of the Earth is not a moot point. Is that what I said?
Yeah, because you're basically saying that anybody who disagrees with your fallacious line of reasoning is not even worth a discussion. So
you can
that's
discuss it all you want.
Hand wave dismissal.
No, it's not typical hand wave dismissal.
So
I've never met somebody.
Jaron, because I won't buy into your false binary.
You don't need to buy into
question, reified conception of what the sky is. You're going to hand wave dismiss me as if the conversation's not valid.
No, I'm not. You can make whatever claim you want about the Earth or not make a claim. So you're saying now you don't make claims about the Earth. So if you don't make claims about the Earth.
No, I made a claim about the Earth. My claim was, as it stands, the Earth is flat.
Okay, so we agree. So that's it.
Do you want to refute my claim?
Nope, I agree with it. So I don't
I still refute your claim that the 24-hour Antarctic sun refutes a flat Earth.
And it's very easy to refute it when you erase the original, the thing that I thought everybody agreed on. So what I'm saying is if nobody agrees on that, or if you don't agree with that, that's fine. You can not agree to believe in what the sun is actually doing. I don't see a point.
Because you say it is. All right, let me ask you some questions, Jaron. Let's get down to it. I started off with a question to you. Is there a difference between physics and optics? You said yes.
Okay.
What's the difference?
I already told you that. We already went over this.
Right.
Okay.
But we disagreed on your answer.
Okay, tell me the right answer. You school me.
It's not the right answer.
Okay.
Is because physical things could be measured, tested repeatedly.
Okay.
Optical things cannot. Can we agree on that?
So things you can see but not touch, you're saying?
Right. Things that I can see and not touch. Now,
Okay.
look, if we were to ascribe to NASA, who says they went to the moon.
No, we're not giving them any credit.
And they're sending probes to the sun, then somebody could make an argument that you can see and touch those things, right?
Correct.
But we're not making that argument.
I would agree with you. You cannot see and touch the sun. Correct.
Right. We're talking about celestial observations that are intangible to us. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But we know what they do.
So my question to you how would I measure a celestial object that I can't measure, I can't test, and I can't practically demonstrate?
We don't need to measure it. We are just looking for its path, which somebody can follow in a plane, somebody can follow in a boat. You can have a bunch of people get together and they can all say, okay, here's the sun. It just passed me. Nathan Oakley's done it before. He did a sun tracking. We saw the sun go around the Earth in 24 hours. It's been proven. I don't know what else you want me to say. You cannot believe in something that's a known fact, but that's on you. So I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, so now, as you say, the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours.
Right.
All right. Wouldn't that require a linear relationship with the observers? Or I'll ask it again. If you have multiple observers across diverse locations,
right?
All right. What are you implying in terms of how we see the sun?
That it goes around whatever we call the Earth in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a flat or whether it's a triangle or whether it's a pyramid or a cylinder, whatever it is, it has a starting point and it gets back to that starting point 24 hours later. And we can verify that with people in various locations.
Okay. Now, those people in those various locations, do you understand the angles of observation and how they don't necessarily match up to that sun? Are you aware of this?
Are you talking about when we try and do 3 people like a Aristophanes experiment, or you mean just one person in an angle to the sun?
All right, let's take an example.
Okay.
Let's take the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
On a equinox.
Okay.
All right. Now, in your model, where the sun is circling, where would that sun be along that path?
90 degrees.
No, I mean, would it be at the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, or would it be at the equator in your model?
In my model, on the solstice or on the equinox? What did you say?
The equinox.
So it's at the equator.
It's the equator. Okay.
Above the equator.
No. Right.
Okay.
So we could both agree that in your model,
okay,
it would be basically circling the equator. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could say in my model, but no matter what
I'm
model,
saying in your model because it's not my model.
Right.
So you can say everybody else in the world. Let's assume you're correct. Everybody else in the world would disagree with me and think I'm nuts and agrees with you. But so it's still in your model because it's not in my model, right?
Right. But I was going to say it's all models. There's no such thing as an equinox map that doesn't have the sun on the equator on the equinox. It's against the definition. So it doesn't seem to make much sense to me. The equinox is the sun being on the equator. It's the name of it. It's the definition of it.
Is it?
That's what equinox means.
Okay. So here's the thing, Jaron.
Okay.
If you let's take 3 people on a particular longitude on the equinox.
Okay.
One in North America, one in Central America,
right,
and one in South America.
Gotcha.
Would you agree that all 3 of those people at the same time would view the sunrise simultaneously if they're on the same longitudinal line?
Yeah, I would think it's pretty close. I wouldn't know if it's exactly. I'd have to look into that.
Right.
But it's close enough.
Do you happen to know the angle, the horizontal angle off of north that they each simultaneously would see that sunrise?
90.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. You got that. So what I'm showing is there's not a one-to-one linear relationship with our location and the sun in the sky. Now, if we want to progress the conversation a little bit more, we can say, okay, maybe your model is correct when you're ascribing to, and due to perspective, each of those 3 people from those diverse locations are seeing the sun rise at 90 degrees. Because in the model that you're ascribing, unless there's a difference in perspective, then we can't say that there's a one-to-one linear relationship with one's observation from those diverse locations.
And why do you say that? Because you're talking about drawing a 90-degree line from each person's perspective and it going like across? I mean, you do realize that east and west are circles.
Circles on an azimuthal. I know that.
And do they?
But regardless, from the presupposed azimuthal equidistance map that you're ascribing, yes, you're right, it's circles. That still doesn't change it. It's still off. My point is this, I'll just sum it up. We're not observing the sun the same.
Yeah, I mean, you're giving me a globe talking point, so I get what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you a celestial data talking point. You can choose to reject it. That's fine.
We could say it's not proven, right? Same thing.
I'm giving you facts based on celestial data.
Right. Same thing I was doing with the sun, but you said we couldn't prove that. I get you. It's the same thing.
No, based off observations. You're claiming what the sun is and what it does.
I never claimed what it is.
I'm saying from people who are on the ground.
That's what I said. Everybody who's listening to this is watching
observing the sun.
Okay, we've already.
That's what I'm saying. I can substantiate.
So that we can prove, but we can't prove that the sun's going around in 24 hours?
Yeah, correct. That's correct.
You're just out of your mind, dude.
No, you just have very poor reasoning skills,
Maybe that's the
Jaron,
truth,
and
yeah.
you're unaware of it.
I guess so, because how could it be that we can't prove what the sun does in 24 hours, but you're saying we can prove that the angles to the sun by different people are off? Explain that to me.
They're off compared to your model that you're claiming. I'm
No, they're not.
debunking your sophomoric claim of your basically begging the question model. That's it, dude.
So you're already against the AE map. I get it. So without the AE
I didn't
map,
say that. Don't put words into my mouth.
you just said you're debunking
Don't
my
ascribe
map.
things to me that I don't.
So what did
claim.
you say? What did you just claim? Say it again.
What my claim is that empirically, if you take 3 people along a particular longitude line,
Correct.
from north to south, from the expanse of all the way up to the Tropic of Cancer,
Right.
and the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn on the
Gotcha.
same longitudinal line, all 3 of those people will see the sun rise at 90 degrees off of north.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll show you this, and you tell me what if you see this. So this is the globe Earth here, and if we take a go back here, hopefully you can see that. It needs to be a little bit higher. Let me get it up a little bit there. Okay, so if we take this line here, you're talking about, right? 3 people, one at the top here, one at the middle at the equator, and one at the bottom. Is that what you're saying? So
Yes, it could be anywhere on Earth. It's
Sure.
the same location, and look how
Okay.
they view. You could take multiple. You could take more than 3.
okay, but I'm asking
You
you
can do
this.
6 along that longitude.
Okay, so is the 90-degree line this yellow one? This yellow line off the red? This line here, this line here, and this line here?
No, it's just 90 degrees. Again, so now you're giving me a representation of another model. I'm talking about in the world
Yes.
that we inhabit on Earth.
Correct.
North is this way, 90 degrees this way. You notice I didn't say east, Jaron. I said 90 degrees.
Right, but 90
I
degrees...
specifically said 90 degrees, not east.
Right, 90 degrees is pointed at the equator, just so you know. Okay, this is 90 degrees. So it's not what you think it is, and everywhere...
90 degrees on the globe that you're giving me.
Right, it's the same thing. If you're looking 90 degrees on the flat Earth, you're going to be looking in the direction, this is 90 degrees here, and then from the top here...
on your presupposed projection that you're just continuously evoke. See, again,
Sure,
this
but you're
is
saying, hold on,
question.
it's not begging the question.
All you're doing
claiming-
is using circular reasoning right now. You just don't see it, Jaron.
No, I'm not using...
I'm talking about the world we inhabit.
Sure.
I'm talking about the substantial world we live in.
Sure.
And all I'm saying is if from multiple locations along a degree of longitude,
Like I just drew.
everybody's looking in the same direction.
Okay, right. Looking towards the equator.
Oh, so what are the implications of that?
They're looking
On
towards
your
the equator.
model that you ascribe to, what are the implications there?
They're all looking at the sun. Because the sun's above
They're
the
all
equator.
looking at the sun. What
Correct.
is it? Are they all looking at the actual sun?
Yeah, it's each rendered for each of them, but it's still the same
Rendered,
sun.
right? So is it the actual, genuine, concrete sun?
It's the same sun, yes.
I'm looking for an A word here. There's an A followed by a couple P's. You can do it, Jaron.
What, apparently? I don't know what you mean.
You got it.
Okay, great.
Here's what I'm trying to say. We finally got there. On your model
Right.
that you're ascribing to, not me, the sun has to be apparent. So it took us an hour to get here, finally.
I don't know. Okay, it has to be apparent.
Would you agree to that? Would you agree onto the
Has to
model
be.
that you ascribe to that the sun has to be apparent?
No, I wouldn't say has to be. No, because
You wouldn't
everybody's
say
looking...
it has to be.
No, the 3
Okay.
people that you named on that one line of longitude could all be looking at the equator, seeing the same sun.
They're all looking at the equator.
Correct. That's
When they're looking 90 degrees.
90 degrees is towards the equator. I just showed you.
No, you showed me that on a globe.
90 degrees is towards the equator. If you grab the globe and I put the same line of sight onto this map, it'll be the same. Especially in the north. The north is no different. The north is identical to the globe on the flat Earth map. So there's nothing different.
So in their field of view, they're looking at the equator. That's what you're saying. I'll give you another example.
Correct, but you wouldn't know that.
Excuse me?
You wouldn't know that. You're not. There's no equator to look at. So they're just looking at what the direction of east. Or
No, I
sorry.
said they're looking 90 degrees. You're assuming they're looking east.
Okay, they're looking 90 degrees.
On your model, wouldn't they not be? Because east would be a circle.
East
So
would be
they
a circle,
wouldn't be.
correct?
Correct. So they're not looking at the equator. Let me give you another one. Let's go to the
They are looking at
solstice.
the equator. We can go look at what 90 degrees is from each place and see where that
Let's go to the December solstice.
Okay, so we're at the December solstice. in the south.
Right.
Okay.
It's December 21st, and you're in the south.
Right.
And
So if you're trying to get to like the sun setting south of west, rising south of east, that kind of stuff,
that's correct.
and then saying that it's not the same sun, it's an apparent sun. Okay, I'll give you that.
No, I'm not saying. I'm asking you.
Okay, so yes, it's apparent.
In your model, say it again.
I said it's apparent. I already said that.
Okay, so you're conceding that in your model the sun is apparent.
Sure.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you've just conceded that in your model we're not looking at the genuine sun, we're looking at the apparent sun.
Correct. Yeah, but that's always
All right,
the case.
so now let's go to Antarctica. That you've just conceded that
Okay.
in your model,
Okay.
the sun that anybody sees at any given time
Right.
is not the actual genuine sun, it's the apparent sun.
Okay. But it brings
Okay,
heat and
now
light,
let's
right?
let's go to Antarctica and talk, and you could then just continue to explain to me how the apparent optical sun
Mhm.
circling around somebody debunks the verifiably flat Earth that we live on.
Okay, because there is no mechanism to take the heat and light to the other places on the Earth. If the
Oh,
sun,
really? Let me ask you something, Jaron. When yesterday where I
so when you
live,
say it's apparent, what are the sunspots?
you just said it was apparent.
Okay.
You
I'm
just said it was apparent.
and
I
I'm
didn't say
asking you. I'm
you
asking
just
you,
said it was apparent.
and I'm asking you
That's
when you're
what
talking
you
about
said.
apparent. Well, everybody can zoom in on the sun and see the sunspots. So is it apparent sunspots that they're seeing, or is that real sunspots?
I don't know, Jaron. You're the one who just said it's apparent because you used logic and realized it has to be.
No, I didn't. I was just doing it to make you happy. I was like, well, fine. You want to call it apparent? That's
you
fine.
did it to make me happy in front
Sure.
of all these people in a debate.
This is a debate? When is it a debate?
You just conceded the apparent sun, and then now because you do have a degree of
Dude,
intelligence,
you are out of your
realize
mind.
I'm about
You're
to
so
top-
fucking stupid.
You realize I'm about to topple your entire argument.
What argument?
And you're fucking getting cold feet.
No,
That's
I'm
all
not
it
getting
is.
cold feet. I've stated
Everybody
my.
watching will understand
No,
that.
they'll
So
not understand. They'll
can we
understand you're an
proceed?
idiot. You're just an idiot. That's it.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're
I'm an
protecting
idiot.
yourself. You've made a stupid statement.
I'm protecting myself.
Absolutely.
Jaron, anybody could watch this, Jaron. So
No
now
shit.
you just resulted to calling me an idiot.
Yes,
Wonderful.
I did. Yep.
Okay, so do I need to point out the logical fallacy there, or just let everybody else do that?
Yeah, let everybody else do that. That's fine. You're an idiot
Gotcha.
because you can't just
Are you
come
ready to
in.
get out of your feelers and continue the convo?
No,
Jaron?
there's no feelers here. You can't come in and say that there's not
So
the
you're
sun.
calling me an idiot because you're not having feelings?
Correct, because you're not having 24-hour suns. You're going to claim that doesn't happen. So what's the point? So if you're right, if there's no 24-hour sun, if we can't prove anything, if we can't prove what the sun's doing or anything, then you're right. There's no proof of flat Earth will never be proven wrong. Globe Earth will never be proven wrong. Nothing will. We can't.
You're just going to be incredulous.
That's what you're being.
I hope somebody's keeping track. No, I'm not of your fallacies.
Yeah,
I
because
hope
we're
somebody's keeping score at home.
sure
please.
100-0. It's very good.
Can we address your claim again? How the 24-hour Antarctic sun?
No, because only for
debunks
somebody
the
who's
flat Earth?
smart enough to know that the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours would be able to understand the point. You can't understand.
Oh,
the point.
really?
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
So I'm smart enough to get you to admit that on your presupposed map that and model that you
Sure.
ascribe to, that sun
Yeah,
is
I don't care about
apparent.
any of this shit. I don't
Now
care about
you
any of it.
realize your argument
Don't care.
is shit.
It's not
and you're
shit.
fucking freaking
I realize
out,
I'm dealing
dude.
with a bunch of retards. That's what I realize.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? How many times do I have to say it?
So how many times are you just going to insult me, Jaron, in front of everybody?
Till you leave? I don't know. There's no point in having this conversation. You're completely useless. You can be like Leo.
Oh, I'm useless.
You are
I'm
useless.
useless to you.
Yes,
because
useless to
of
me.
your ego. That's
yeah,
all.
that's why.
Now, can we go? Can we stop this silly back and forth and continue?
Continue
with the
what?
Debate,
What is the
please?
point? What are we talking about? I
Do we
can't.
need to reframe
if
it?
we don't know that the
You
sun.
made
Hold on.
Jaron, you made the you're going back to what you ascribe to and what I
Right.
don't.
So I'm saying
Your claim is I'm refuting your claim that the
if
24-hour
you can't agree with me, if you can't agree with me,
debunks the flat Earth.
Sure, if you can't agree with
I
me-
don't have to agree with you on anything.
Okay, so then
made
if you
a claim,
disagree-
I'm refuting your claim.
cool.
That's it.
Okay, great. So because Z is able to say that we can't prove anything about the sun, so the sun can be apparent and it can go in any direction it wants anywhere in the world. Great, fantastic. You proved that.
That's called a straw man, Jaron.
No, it's not a straw man. That's what you've claimed.
Yes, it is. It's called a straw man.
Did you not
just
say
don't realize
you
it.
said it's apparent, and if it's apparent, then it can go anywhere
No,
it
you
wants?
said it's apparent.
Okay,
Yeah, you said it's
if I
apparent.
say it's apparent,
because you realize it has to be on your model. It has
okay.
to be
So
apparent.
if I say it's apparent, then by it being apparent, it's allowed to do whatever it wants.
No, I didn't say that. You said that. So continue.
What do you mean? How did I say that?
Obfuscate the point,
No.
and you keep taking it away from the topic.
The sun is the most. The sun is the most. I don't care what you're here for. The sun is the most dependable thing that there is. You can keep talking. The sun is the most dependable thing that there is in the world. We know exactly what it's fucking doing. If you want to be a retard,
Jaron, you can chant it over and over and over again that we know what the sun is doing. I simply don't.
Okay, I'm muting him because that's what everybody else does and want to get my point across. It's my show. By the way, the only reason he's on the show, because I told him I didn't want him on the show, is he then threatened me that he was going to expose me if I didn't let him on the show. And I'll show you the text message if you want. That's what he does. That's how he got on the show. I'll expose you for being a fraud, even though 2 days earlier he's saying, oh, Jaron's a great guy. He's really honest. Then because I didn't let him on the show, he's like, I'm going to expose you. So you're on mute now. The problem with people like this is that we're not getting anywhere. It's pointless. These guys have all set up their own little world to where they'll never be debunked. They don't think they'll ever be debunked. So I don't want to be a part of that. I do not want to go around telling people, well, the earth is flat and I can't prove anything else and we can't say anything else about anything. Just the earth is flat. That's all we know. I think it's a ridiculous position, and I think that people have only taken this position in the last month, and it looks retarded. So I'll let you go. Go ahead. If I can find the mute button. You might have to unmute. It just says ask to unmute. Thank you.
Okay, so you're just being incredulous and you're straw manning me. Okay. That's it. Now, can we continue the discussion about the 24-hour Antarctic sun?
Sure.
Okay. So just to reframe it, you made a positive claim that the 24-hour Antarctic sun cannot exist on a flat Earth and therefore debunks the flat Earth. You admitted that in the beginning.
Correct.
There's no disagreement there.
Nope.
I refute your claim.
I know you do. And let me explain why. Because you say that in my model that I've ascribed to, that I purport to be my model, that I have to have an apparent sun. And I've claimed that. So the apparent sun has to be that way. And therefore, my claim of it doing any kind of proof about the flat Earth is wrong, because no matter what the sun does, it can't prove anything because it's apparent. Is that correct?
It's not that it can prove anything. It's highlighting your logical fallacy. Jaron, do you know what affirming the consequent fallacy is?
Sure.
Would you like to explain it, or would you like me to?
If P, then Q. So if the Earth...
That's Merced.
No, if it's the same thing. It's the same. Affirming the consequent is if P, then Q, Q, therefore P. It's a formal logical fallacy.
That's Merced.
No, Merced is if is the other obverse of that. If not P, not Q, then not P, which is Merced, which is not a logical fallacy.
All right, so can you state what Merced is again, please?
Merced is a correct form of argument that starts with, like we use it for the black swan. So we say, if the Earth is a globe with radius 3959, then every distance to the horizon will be 1.22 times the square root of the viewer's height in feet. And then we say, but we can actually see further than that, and therefore not P. It's not a globe, which is not a
so
logical fallacy.
What would the equation be again, or the sentence? If
P, so it's if the Earth is if P, then Q, not Q, so not P.
Therefore not P. Correct. That's Merced.
Right.
But I didn't ask you about Merced. I asked you if you were aware of what affirming the consequent
fallacy is. Right, and I started to say it, and then you jumped down my throat. I said it's if P, then Q, Q, therefore P. That's the formal logical fallacy of affirming the consequent. Because it's like saying, if the ground is wet, then it rained, therefore the ground, well, not necessarily, could be a lot of things. That maybe there was a tarp over it, maybe, or, if my grass is wet, then it means it rained. The grass is wet, so it rained. No, the grass is wet because we watered it. So that's the logical fallacy. So we can just work around. If the Earth is a flat Earth with a sun that circles east to west, then there cannot be a sun circling west to east or the opposite direction for somebody on the outskirts. And then we observed, there is a sun circling out there. So therefore not Q or not P, which is what I said at the beginning, that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, close but no cigar, but you're close. Okay, so affirming the consequent fallacy is a form of fallacy of taking a true conditional statement under certain assumptions and invalidly inferring its converse, even though that statement may not be true under the same assumptions.
Right.
This arises when the consequent has other possible antecedents.
That's what I just said. I just got done with
And
the
I'm validating that, but
Okay,
I disagree with the example that you gave, because when it comes to this statement, you said that if there's no 24-hour sun, then the Earth can't be flat. So that's the negative. Let's take the.
We can just do it correctly, right?
All right, how about this? Can we agree that the first part of this is a true conditional statement? Can we both agree on this true conditional statement? If no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, then the Earth is flat. Can we both agree on that?
You're talking about, but you're trying to get a modus tollens one, because I don't think you can say, you're just like we say, if the Earth is a sphere of this amount, then these things will happen. Those things don't happen, so we know it's not a sphere. So we have to keep to that same structure.
I'm trying not to interrupt you.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, can we agree that this is a true statement? If there's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, then the Earth is flat.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So how would you change that?
Well, I think you just did a formal logical fallacy, wording it that way, because if the outcome Q turns out to be true, it doesn't necessarily mean P is Q. P is true.
How about this? Would you say if there's no 24-hour sun, it debunks the globe?
In the South? Sure.
In the South, in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Okay. So we could both agree on that.
I would think so.
Right?
I can agree with that.
Gotcha. So you and I both agree that. So the statement would be the true conditional statement that if there's no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it debunks the globe.
Okay.
So here's where your fallacy is, because you are invalidly inferring that the converse would be true.
Right.
Because you're saying that the converse would be, if there is a 24-hour sun, then it debunks the flat Earth, or it proves the globe. Either way. See, that's the fallacy. You're
so why don't we just word
invalidly inferring that the converse is true, even though that statement may be true under the same assumptions. And
right.
It's because
okay, so let's just reword it.
The consequent, which is the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, has other possibilities.
Okay,
Plain and simple. You're just disregarding the other possibilities, even though I got you to admit that the sun is apparent in your model.
Correct. Didn't say
right.
I said we can say, we just reword it as a modus tollens. So if the Earth is flat with a circling sun that goes around in 24 hours, then there can be no 24-hour sun going the opposite direction in the south. There is a 24-hour...
Again, fallacious.
Okay, then so is the black swan. Because we say if the Earth is
not.
Listen again. If
that's
the Earth,
again. That's you're.
No, you're not letting me talk.
Jaron,
if the Earth is a sphere, you can keep pointing out something, but you're debunking other things that we've all been saying. If the Earth is a globe of 3959 miles, then every distance to the horizon must be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the distance in height in feet. Period. Then we say we go out and we observe and we see further than that. So then we infer that the Earth cannot be a globe. This has been said by everyone for 9 years. So now you're coming here and you're like,
Jaron, no, I'm not.
Is that a modus tollens?
Jaron, you're obfuscating.
I'm not obfuscating. Is it a modus tollens? You are out of your mind. I have just...
Dude, I'm talking about an affirming the consequent fallacy that you don't seem to want to address. I'm reading you the definition, and I'm showing you that your statement that a 24-hour Antarctic sun refutes a flat Earth is a obvious affirming the consequent fallacy. You just don't want to hear it.
So why is then what I just told you not an affirming the consequent? What Nathan Oakley says at every single show. Why is that not an affirming the consequent? Because it's worded different, because it's worded as a modus tollens. Do you understand?
I don't even know where to begin with your reasoning right there, dude.
Look up modus tollens.
I know what it is, dude.
So tell me, if P, then what? If know what
P,
it is.
then Q.
Okay.
Not Q, therefore not P, dude. It's plain and simple.
Okay, and that is allowed, right? It is a acceptable form of logic.
That is a reason. That's logical. It's reasonable.
So I just told you my story within that context. I said, if the Earth is flat with a circling sun, that's if P. Then Q. then there is no 24-hour sun that goes in the south. Okay, then we say not Q. There is a 24-hour sun that goes in the south, then not P. Then the Earth cannot be flat.
Jaron, you're simply not aware of the presuppositions that you're making. That's it. You're assuming a linear relationship with the sun.
No, I'm not.
It is not linear. You admitted yourself under your model that the sun is apparent. You admitted that. Once you admit that the sun is apparent, you've just debunked what you just said. Plain and simple. You're assuming a linear relationship with the sun, man. You're disregarding
You're all over the place, man.
No, I'm not. You are. I'm trying to focus you.
Do you understand that I reworded it as the exact same structure that we use for if the Earth is a globe of 3959? So we're saying if it is this, then these things will happen, right?
Look,
or these things will not happen.
I'm sorry, Jaron.
So I asked you to explain.
I'm trying to talk to you about an affirming the consequent fallacy.
Okay, so tell me what that is. If that's if P, that's if P, then Q, right?
No, I'm reading you what it is right here.
Okay, so tell me what it says.
So we can use words.
Yeah.
And I can give you an example if you want, and we can go on.
Sure.
Affirming the consequent fallacy is a formal fallacy of taking a true conditional statement under certain assumptions and invalidly inferring its converse, even though that statement may not be true under the same assumptions. This arises when the consequent has other possible antecedents. Okay. You just don't acknowledge the other possible antecedents. That's what you're not seeing.
Okay, so what
if maybe the circling sun that you ascribe to is apparent. Or maybe there's a little thing called perspective that you're conveniently ignoring. Or maybe there's a difference between optics and physics. Or maybe a unicorn farts the sun out every morning and sucks it back up its ass every night. So you're just ignoring all those possibilities.
I'm not ignoring it. That just means that the one that's been used for 9 years, you've now said is garbage. So nobody can say anymore.
The one you used for 9 years. I didn't use that for 9 years.
Okay, everybody's used that.
You used it.
No, I've never used it.
You promoted it. Jaron, is it possible that you're emotionally connected to the model that you've been pushing for 9 years?
Absolutely.
And it's clouding your judgment in this?
What do you mean? That's my model. That's what I've been teaching. So why wouldn't that be the only thing on my judgment? What are you talking about? That's
a true thing. You should look for true things, not things that you believed in and ascribed to.
That's the thing that I thought was true.
Because in the face of new evidence, you're rejecting it.
What's the new evidence?
The new evidence is your admitted apparent sun under your ascribed to model.
So whether it's apparent or not, I know what it does.
Whether it's apparent or not, you know. So something that you can't see genuinely, something that can't be measured, you know what it does.
We do see it genuinely.
How do you know what it does? How do you see a genuine apparent sun? Do you know what the opposite of apparent is? It's genuine. So how do you see the genuine apparent sun?
The opposite of genuine would be fake.
No, the opposite of apparent is genuine.
No, the opposite of apparent would be prominent.
So we're going to argue with the dictionary now.
I don't know. You're just making shit up. You're just saying things that aren't true.
So I'm making up the dictionary.
You are. You just said the opposite.
Definition of word. When I say the opposite of apparent is genuine, and you tell me I'm making that up when that's literally what the dictionary says it is.
Oh, it doesn't say that? Okay. Good. So
as you're telling me we're seeing the genuine apparent sun that you admitted to.
Dude, anybody can take the position.
Pre-described begging
anybody can take the position you're taking. Anybody can take this position. It's what Leo's done. It's what you're obviously going to do. It's what
it's logic, and you just don't understand.
Sure. Oh, it's real logical.
Listen to me.
It's real logical.
Listen to Leo. Why don't you listen to your boy Whitsitt, or how about that guy Shane St. Paul?
Yes.
Maybe they should fucking call you and talk to you, Jaron.
Maybe they should.
Maybe you'll listen to this argument from them.
No, they'll all say the same thing.
How logical I'm being and how illogical you're being.
There's nothing logical. You ask any of them if the sun goes around in 24 hours, and not one of them will ever say no, because they have
good for
brains.
them. They ascribe to the same unsubstantiated model that you do.
Because there is no other model of flat Earth. There is no other model. Where's the other model?
Why do we need a model of Earth?
Because we need to explain how the world works. You have to explain how the world works.
Why do we have to explain every little thing?
Because we're not retards. Because we're not retards. Yeah.
How about I'm under no compulsion to explain things that are unevidenced?
Fantastic. Then that's great. So you don't have to explain
believe in a flat Earth because of a model that you ascribe to that's unevidenced.
Correct. Because I have to, in order for me to believe in something, I have to have it match my observations. It has to match the world around me. If it doesn't, then I know it's not true. That's the way you tell what's true and what's not. What matches reality? Not playing semantic games and all this stuff.
Right.
It's just what's true and what's not.
You're right.
Okay, great.
Exactly.
So great. So
right. So I am a flat earther because the
Earth's
Earth
flat,
is
right.
measured flat. It's navigated flat.
Great.
Okay. It's treated flat in
Sure.
all large-scale geoengineering projects.
Okay.
I can use practical. You're just gonna chant over me. I can use practical
okay is not
demonstration. You're still doing it as I'm
Okay.
saying you are doing it.
Oh yeah.
I can use practical demonstration and applied physical science and the scientific method to substantiate my claim. If you're basing your claim on the optics of, the sky,
Okay.
well, of course you're going to come to the fallacious conclusion that a 24-hour Antarctic sun is going to debunk the flat Earth.
Yeah.
You just don't see it, and I showed everybody today
Sure you
your
showed
false reasoning, dude. That's
and all
it.
anybody needs to do is just think to themselves: is there a way that you could even fathom this thing working? That the sun changes direction. All of a sudden, it changes direction midday and starts going behind
Nobody's saying that.
What has to happen? That's
Jaron,
what
do you
has
know
to
what an
happen.
optical?
Has
Have
to
you ever
happen.
heard of an optical? Really? So an optical thing needs to change. It only changes due to your perspective of it.
No,
There's things called optical illusions. Are you aware
The
that
sun
there's
is not an
something called
optical illusion. Yeah, the sun is not an optical illusion.
The sun may not be an optical illusion, but the way we see the sun can certainly be, Jaron.
Sure, but has anyone ever seen it change
see
direction?
the way things are. You should know that.
Everybody in the crowd, in the
don't
audience, please
see
tell me
the
if you've
physical
seen the
world.
sun change direction in the middle of the freaking day and go, it's going this way, and then it just switches and goes the other way.
I didn't claim that. You're going to straw man what I said.
No, I'm asking if that's possible. If it's not possible that doesn't happen, then it cannot go behind the person in Antarctica because it has to do that.
Jaron, it doesn't mean the physical sun has to go behind the person.
What do you mean? So what are you going to see?
doing?
What are you going to see when you zoom in?
You're observing this, Jaron. You're observing the sun
The
go
sun.
behind you, Jaron.
Correct.
You're observing the
Right.
sun.
But you realize
from your
it's the main
perspective.
sun. The main sun that's in the north of me is the one that goes behind me. You understand that? Don't tell me you have the same problem as do you understand the
Jaron, it's not a problem. The problem's yours, Jaron.
No. Broderick
Problem's yours.
for 3 hours didn't understand it yesterday. Maybe you don't understand it either.
No, Jaron. No, I'm sure he understood it just fine.
No, he didn't. That's
You're the one
anybody
that's
watch
not
that?
understanding, Jaron.
Okay,
You're
good.
the one that's not understanding it. I don't
Yeah,
need
so-
drawings and stuff. I
Well,
don't
you
need
clearly
another
do.
diagram. I've seen your diagrams.
Okay.
I understand what
so
you're
you understand
saying.
the sun switches direction.
No, what I understand is if you see a 24-hour circling sun in Antarctica, it appears to do something. If that is indeed the case,
Right.
that's all.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it does it.
No,
You
it doesn't.
admitted
So
that
God
even
tried to
under
trick
your
us.
model,
Yeah,
the
God
sun
tried to
has
trick
be
us.
apparent.
Yeah, God tried
Jaron,
to trick us.
under your model, the sun has to be apparent. You already
Right.
conceded that, correct?
So what? That doesn't mean it changes direction. We've never seen that.
Jaron, it could do a lot of things.
Sure,
Jaron.
it could do
a
spin
million
wheels. It could do
things.
cartwheels. It could do jumping
You
jacks.
say
Cool.
it can't.
Yeah, I say it can't do jumping jacks. That's
Let
me.
Something you say the sun brings heat, and if it's on the other side, how's it going to bring heat and how's it going to bring light and stuff?
They need
You
to see it
realize
as
no
well.
matter what model one ascribes to, when it's nighttime, it's still warm, right? Okay, where I live, yesterday was 83 degrees.
Okay.
Nighttime came and it was like 77
Look
degrees.
at your argument. Dude, did the sun come above your head during the day? I think it did.
Right?
I think it
Yes.
did, everybody. So
Right.
what-
But did it go to 0 degrees centigrade at
Nobody
night?
said
No.
it did.
The heat was still held.
the
So
sun
what's
is
your
what
argument
brings the
then with
heat.
Antarctica?
Because the sun is what
Right.
needs to get. So does the sun go above Australia every day?
The sun can be perceived from Australia every day. Yes.
Okay. So then it can't be behind somebody in Antarctica 15,000 miles away. It can't be behind them and then also be above Australia. There you go. Your model, the model becomes debunked.
Right. But what you're saying, you're not understanding that what we're seeing is not necessarily what the thing is. You've already admitted to that.
Great.
This
So
is
you're
the
right.
point that you're not getting by.
If there's
because
two
you can't
suns, if there's
concede
three
because-
suns, if there's four suns, then I could be wrong. You're absolutely right. I'll
So
admit that.
again, you're going to straw man.
I didn't straw man anything.
And
I
you're right.
said-
If there is 2 or 3 or 4 suns,
Then that's
that
not
would
much
be
of a
correct.
straw man, is it?
That is another possibility. Let's go back to one of those other possible antecedents, and you're affirming the consequent logical fallacy. Yeah, multiple suns could certainly be one. Perspective could be another.
Sure.
And another could be unicorn farts, Jaron.
Great. So everybody who
Point is,
wants
we
to
don't
believe
know
in
what
that,
the sun can do anything. And
It
the
can't
fact
do
that
anything.
you think a 24-hour apparent
anything.
sun on your model that you ascribe to somehow invalidates a flat Earth.
anybody with any
is
intelligence
completely
realizes
fallacious.
that. Anybody with any intelligence realizes that. Any intelligence. Everybody else is
Okay,
a
so you-
is a poser. They're opposers.
So there you go. So so you've now been destroyed in the argument, and you're reverting to the lowest form, an ad hom attack, the last refuge of somebody who's clinging to their pre-indoctrinated mindset because their ego is too big to get over the fact that they don't know.
How I have an ego. You're saying you're going to be right no matter what. I'm saying that I can.
That's not true.
Shut up. There's a
I made one claim.
Falsified.
I defend my claim.
Great. There's a falsification when something is scientific. It's when it can be falsified. Okay. So I've come up with a way that the flat Earth could be falsified. That's it. It's that, and it's who cares if I come back and say it's falsified for me? What do any of you care?
You're obfuscating, Jaron.
I'm not obfuscating. I'm just talking. So I'm not obfuscating.
Yes, you are.
I've already made my claim. People. The thing is, everybody understands my claim. I've said it for 3 weeks ad nauseum. Okay.
Right. We all understand you're fallacious.
Great. Yeah. Sure. It's fallacious. Sure.
Corrupt.
No. It's anybody with any intelligence realizes that the sun cannot be going around somebody in Antarctica and the Earth be flat.
You realize that's an emotional appeal and an appeal to incredulity.
It's so funny that you think it's an emotional. You're like, it's an emotional because it's your map that you've been pushing out. You're like, it's Jaron's map, so he's emotionally attached to it. And I'm actually saying that something can debunk it. If I was emotionally attached to it, I'd be trying to save it no matter what. I'm saying it has a flaw that can be exposed.
I'd rather go down with the ship, Jaron, than just let go of your pre-indoctrinated begging the question.
Go down with what ship?
Reified model. That's all, dude.
No, you're just not. You cannot comprehend that if there's a sun that goes around somebody in Antarctica, then the Earth cannot be flat because how did the sun get to Australia?
The apparent sun, or the actual concrete sun? Which one?
Well, we would see the actual sun.
Right.
That's why we're going down there with cameras.
You admitted that the actual sun that you admitted was apparent under your predisposed.
No, I said that if we go down and we zoom in with cameras, we're going to see sunspots. We're going to see it's going to be the physical sun that we see.
Really? Yeah. You're assuming what you're going to see? If we see,
we're going to see the sun no matter what. What are you talking about?
Right.
We're going to be there 3 days.
So why are you assuming what that observation is going to be?
Because I know that there'll be a sun there to the north. That's what everybody knows. Nobody's disagreeing with that. The question is, does it continue off to the east or continue off to the west? Or does it go behind you? Two very, very different things. And when it goes behind you, that's not an apparent sun. If it's apparent, then we'll see it.
It's not the apparent sun. So,
no, it's the actual
after
sun.
You admitted that on your model that you ascribe to, the sun has to be apparent.
I said I was giving you a break because I thought we just needed to get past
because
something.
Of celestial data.
Celestial data tells us
because of celestial data, your model, the sun has to be. Jaron, I'm going to make it real simple for you.
No, the sun doesn't have to be apparent.
Jaron, in the model that you ascribe, the sun has to be apparent. It has to be apparent on a globe too, Jaron.
Why?
I don't know why I have to spell this out to you.
What do you mean? Why does it have to be apparent on the globe?
Because there's not a one-to-one relationship between the way we see the sun from diverse locations around the Earth.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
What are you talking about?
Do you know what the mean sun is? What the term mean sun is, and how civil time is calculated.
Well, because noon wouldn't be noon for everybody. They have to use a mean sun because the celestial data, based off the ephemeris, which has been around for hundreds of years and updated obviously with software, shows that the sun has to be apparent. There's no other way, or some other explanation. No, it's variable.
I'll say it like this.
No.
There can't be a one-to-one linear relationship with the sun. You have to either include perspective, multiple suns, or unicorn farts.
The globe does? The globe does not.
Whether the globe or the fat Earth, yes, it does.
No, that's just wrong.
Doesn't match up.
It's just wrong.
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong.
It is wrong.
Even if it's a distant sun at diverse locations at 93 million miles, there's still a 14 million mile difference when you plot it out, dude.
What do you mean?
The sun has to be apparent on both models, dude.
The sun has to what?
The sun that we see in the sky.
Yes.
Has to be apparent, regardless of the flat Earth model that you're proposing or the globe model.
Show me proof of that. You just made that up. Show me where it says that the globe model.
I don't have to show you proof. We already talked about it in the beginning. That's it.
Oh, you are the worst interview. I cannot believe you're like this. I always thought you're cool, and now I realize you're just garbage. It's just I can't believe people like you exist. You just make up.
You're saying it over and over again after I destroyed you on your own show.
Look at what kind of ego you have. You're a piece of shit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you attacked me this whole time, dude. I stuck to the argument.
Yeah, you're so cool. Guys, everyone, I just want to make it clear that Z beat me in a debate today. He clearly laid it out that the idea that the sun does something that it completely can't do in my model doesn't debunk my model, which is crazy. That's exactly what it does. That's what a falsifier is. So, congratulations, Z. It was fun. I really enjoyed that. You won't be asked back, and enjoy yourself. Hope you get your show back. But I don't see any reason to continue.